My Imperium family, I have a confession to make. I have succumbed to the dark side of the Force. Wait, sorry, wrong universe. But yeah, I have to admit to you, I have succumbed to the subtleties of the Xenos, unfortunately. There's something intriguing. There's something multi-armed and multifaceted about these Warhammer 40k Xenos factions that slowly grasp their tendrils into me. Welcome back, my family. This is Sprues and Studs, and today we're going to be reviewing one singular action figure, but it's something that I have been wanting to review for a little bit on the channel. And what we're talking about is this particular guy. It is the Genestealer. So one of the things that I wanted to do was to branch out from basically Space Marines and stuff. And you already know that I'm a big Space Marines fan. I've always been a Space Marines fan and always will be. However, there's something to be said about variety on the channel. There is something said about variety on reviewing other action figures too. So Joy Toy, Bandai, as well as McFarlane, they have plenty of representation from the Imperium. So you have the Space Marines, the Sisters of Battle, and you also have some Imperial Guard. So those things are very well represented, but unfortunately the Xenos actually isn't very well represented in these action figure lines. I'm pretty excited to actually delve into this Genestealer review, so without further ado, let's get to it. So folks, obviously in front of you, you have the fearsome Genestealer, so let's get to the unboxing part. Opening up the box. Alright folks, finally we have the Genestealer completely unwrapped from its packaging. I'll have to admit to you that packaging is so frustrating to get to. There are so many mooring and anchoring points there that you have to cut through that is super annoying to me. I think that maybe they need to cut down on the amount of anchor points to probably like 3 or 4 instead of probably like 6 or 7 that it had, because it took me at least like 5 minutes to get that thing pretty much cut from its moorings, I suppose. So anyways, getting to the review, the Genestealer comes with its 2 arms like this, and you have to pop it into its socket, so we're going to go ahead and do just that. So we are going to pop this one over here, which I'm going to assume that this is the claw portion. Looks like I'm going to have to use a little bit of force to get this thing in, and finally we are able to get it in. And then 2, these are the talons, which are the bigger ones, and the normal armaments for a Genestealer. Okay, let's take a look at what this Tyranid has to offer. Let's take a look at the painting on the head. And this actually looks certifiably gruesome. I really like the look that McFarlane did capture. It looks 100% very intimidating, just like how a Genestealer is supposed to be in the 40k universe. So you've got a very, very glossy maw over here, as you can see. And I really like that effect because it really looks like it's bloody and very like, well, Tyranidsy, I suppose. And then looking at the teeth, it is fairly jagged and very, very accurate to how a Genestealer is supposed to be. Looking at the eyes, I suppose you do have some bleed for the yellow onto the red part. And then looking at the head itself, you do actually get some shading on here, which is nice. Although the shading is very subtle and very weak, I think it actually does help this action figure pop out a little bit more. And just like with other McFarlane figures, there is absolutely no highlighting whatsoever, but weirdly enough, I don't really mind it that much. So let's take a look at the talons and see how these guys are painted. I'm not sure if these talons are supposed to mimic blood, because I'm going to say that if these things are how it's supposed to be painted, the painting is actually kind of ragged and very, very rough, in my opinion. And it kind of looks the same way on this side of the talons. You get some painting issues with over here. The pink or magenta portion didn't cover the kind of pale gray portion of the body. So that's a little bit of a miss, in my opinion. Then you get some pretty big misses over here. they really should be a little bit more uniform than what they are presented right here. And then looking at the claws themselves, it's pretty much the same thing. You have kind of like a messy painting over here. But like I said, I'm not too sure if this is supposed to mimic blood or this is how it's supposed to look like. Looking at the chest area where the talons go into, there is a lot of sinuous mass over here. And I kind of wish that this part was shaded along with this part as well. Because you can see with this carapace here, it actually is lightly shaded here. And it would be nice to have this part to be a little bit more uniform. This kind of looks a little out of place right now, or at least under detailed when you've actually decided to shade this area. This action figure, in my opinion, has a lot more character than the Sisters of Battle that I reviewed, or just even the Space Marines that I reviewed in the past. So at least there is shading here. And then looking at the legs themselves, see, this is where I'm talking about is a little bit out of place. You have shading that's going on in the thigh area, and then you don't have any shading over here, which kind of breaks the uniformity in my opinion. Hey, this is actually really nice. At least when you're looking at the claws and talons matching this area over here on the thigh, that's great. Moving on to the feet and legs themselves, it's pretty much the same thing as the claws. You have fairly uneven painting over here, but I'm not sure if it's purposely done to either represent blood or this is how it's come stock as a Genestealer. You do have obviously shading on the back, and then there is some messy bleed that's going on over here, here, and here. And then lack of uniformity down here. So I wish that this shading here would be applied to these areas as well, because this actually looks a little bit out of place in my opinion once you've shaded the top but you did not shade the bottom where the tail is. In terms of articulation, let's see what this Genestealer has. So the head you can rotate around 360, which is pretty cool. Not sure why you would want it to rotate 360, but where the action literally is the arms, and let's see exactly what they can do here. So you have apparently 360 degree of motion here, as well as the elbow has pretty much 90 degrees of free motion. And let's see what the talons have. 360 degree, which I'm assuming that there's a ball joint in here. And let me see if we can move the talons in. Yes, you can move the talons in a little bit so that the Genestealer can go in for the kill. Cool. How about the arms underneath where the claws are? I'm going to assume that this is also 360 degree rotation. That's nice. You get a 90 degree rotation with the elbow, and then you can move these claws in as well. This thing does spin around 360 degrees as well. In terms of the torso articulation, I believe that you can actually spin this thing around 360 as well. I'm going to assume that there is a ball and socket joint here. So it seems like you have a decent amount of mobility here. With regards to the legs, you can kick it up here, kick it back. It looks like it also does have 360 rotation, which is really nice. Get that articulation fully out. The knees, though, only go out to about 90 degrees, maybe even less. The feet themselves are 360 here, but you can pivot this ball joint, I suppose, back and forth, so you can place this. So there is actually a decent amount of rotation that you can get from this. So that's the review of this badass beast. Let's quickly wrap up this review. So what do I think about this pure breed Genestealer? I actually really like it, to be honest. I didn't think I would like it as much as I did. Granted, the action figure does look a little bit flat, in my opinion, as usual. That's not really going to deviate because that's how McFarlane usually makes their action figures. I'll have to say, though, this has a lot more detail than the Space Marines as well as the Sisters of Battle. There is a decent amount of shading, as you can see down here. I just kind of wish that the shading was a little bit more uniform throughout the whole entire Genestealer's bodies. There are some painting issues, especially with the talon as well as the claw area. However, it's something that really doesn't bother me a lot. I know that for a fact, though, if you are a Genestealer fan or even a Tyranid fan, I think this is definitely an action figure that you would want to get. I really think that McFarlane did a very, very great job of representing what a Genestealer is supposed to look like. You have the fearsome bulbous-like head and the very, very intimidating maw over here. For 20 bucks, and if you're a Tyranid fan, I think this is a definite must-buy for you. So this is Sprues and Studs. I hope you enjoyed this review. There's going to be a lot more review of action figures, whether it be from Bandai, Joy Toy, or McFarlane in the next coming months. And I'm definitely going to be previewing some Joy Toy releases that are going to be coming up in the future. So as usual, please look for those videos, and then I'll see you all in the next one.